Hey, today is National Gun Violence Prevention Day. We are wearing orange to support the work that advocates, survivors, victims are doing all over the country to prevent gun violence. I am here in my office today, working the phones, trying to get a bipartisan compromise that will save lives, that can get 60 votes in the Senate. This won't be easy, but nothing is more worthwhile than this. So I appreciate everybody out there today who's joining in this effort and wearing orange.
Hey everybody, today is National Gun Violence Awareness Day. We wear orange to honor and to remember those that we've lost to gun violence and to commit to try and save lives going forward. The House is coming back into session next week, and we should and will pass legislation to try and save lives and to reduce gun violence in our country. Whether that's from universal background checks or raising the age on being able to purchase assault weapons or red flag laws, there are common sense measures that we can take that are supported by the majority of the American people that will help us reduce gun violence and keep our kids safe. So whether that's in Uvalde, Buffalo, Tulsa, or Iowa, or really across the country, so many different places, we know that this is a scourge that's affecting our communities and that we can do something about it.
Thank you for being here today in our New England weather. We're all here because in some way or the other, we are personally touched by this plague of gun violence as first responders, as public safety professionals, as parents, as educators, as mental health professionals, as religious leaders, as lawmakers. And let me tell you how I'm affected by this. I'm affected by this, first of all, as the father of two young children. I'm the second youngest parent in all of Congress. And as I was tucking in my two children on last Tuesday evening, I felt physically sick thinking about the parents in Texas who were being asked for DNA samples to identify their kids in that classroom. Physically sick. Because I know the power of assault weapons. I was an infantry and reconnaissance officer in the United States Marine Corps. I slept, ate, trained, patrolled with an AR-15 for 4.5 years. And for the first 3 months, I had to keep that weapon with me every single hour of every day before I was even allowed to load it. And when we went to bed at night, we locked that AR-15 behind 3 locked doors because the United States Marine Corps has common sense gun safety regulations. They understand that these are weapons of war that need to be treated with respect and that have no place in the hands of civilians, especially an 18-year-old who goes out and buys 370 rounds of ammunition directly after purchasing those 2 AR-15s. While we come at this issue from multiple different perspectives, we are all here today because we are angry. I am angry right now. And I don't come at most issues from a place of rage. I don't think that's a helpful way to legislate. I don't think that's a helpful way to talk about most issues. But I'm mad about this issue because this is a policy decision that we are making for kids to be slaughtered, for Americans to be slaughtered in our churches, in our grocery stores, and our classrooms. We are making this decision as Americans. And I'm mad. I'm mad at the NRA that has no soul, and I'm mad at the GOP politicians that have no spine to stand up to the NRA. And they want to talk about everything except for the actual issues. They want to say, you know what the problem is? This is a mental health problem. Don't put this on the mental health professionals who are already overburdened in this country. There are mental health challenges the world over. America is unique in that since Columbine, we have had 300,000 school children exposed to gun violence firsthand. Then they want to say, well, you know what? Here's what we should do. We should arm our school teachers then. We should make our schools into fortresses, and our churches into fortresses, and our grocery stores into fortresses, and our town halls into fortresses. First of all, I don't want to live in a country where every time you step out of your door, you have got to arm yourself with an AR-15 just to engage in society. That's not the kind of America I want to live in. It's not the kind of America I think our public safety professionals want to have to police. But it also just doesn't make any sense. A good guy with a gun is not always going to stop a bad guy with a gun. 19 good guys with a gun stayed outside that Texas classroom for 48 minutes and 100 rounds fired before they breached that door. That is not the answer here. The answer is to get rid of the guns. We know what works. We've seen it in Massachusetts. I'm going back to Washington, We're going to vote on a package of common sense gun safety legislation that a majority of Americans support, that a majority of Democrats support, that a majority of Republicans support, that a majority of gun owners support. Background checks, red flag laws. These are things that Massachusetts has demonstrated work, and we need to make it the national model. And I'm going to vote for these bills, and I co-sponsor these bills, and I'm not going to let perfect be the enemy of the good, but I'll tell you what, here's my commitment to you. I am not going to stop fighting until we truly, fully have common sense gun safety legislation at the federal level that keeps Americans and especially our kids safe. And that means, first and foremost, a federal assault weapons ban. These weapons have no place in civil society. That's my commitment to you. Thank you for being here today again. It's a privilege to represent you and to fight on this issue with you. Take care.